Yamaha presents the Whitetail Diaries, chronicling hunting adventures of the most plentiful and intelligent big game animal in North America. Join top whitetail hunters nationwide and embark on the amazing adventure that is hunting the whitetail deer. Well, in this episode, we're in Kentucky for what's to become an annual bow hunting trip that we do with Yamaha and the team from Salt River Outfitters. For those of you that saw last week's episode, Steve Nessel took a giant velvet buck, and now we're going to continue our opening week hunt with Scott Newby, who's new to bow hunting. But first, let's learn some bow hunting tips from the crew.
I get a lot of Facebook messages, a lot of email questions, get asked a lot of different trade shows, and just traveling at the grocery store sometimes about, hey, this happened or that happened, what advice do you have? And the one thing that I would pass on to people is you can't practice enough. Practice, I think, is the single most important thing in a bow hunting situation, having confidence in that gear. But then if I was to break down actual field things to keep in mind, pay attention to your clothing. Make sure you've got quiet clothing that is not going to make a ton of noise when you're drawing. So many people come out with real loud, rustly clothing, and you have to move in bow hunting. It's, you know, when you draw, you're going to move. The next thing I would say is pay attention to your safety harness setup while you're in there, what's going to clang, bank, bing, bow, all the different noises that it can make while it hits your stands, whether it's a ladder stand, a tripod, or a lock-on. Those are really important. Wind direction and scent control are absolutely imperative in so many different situations out there. I'm a huge believer in cover sense and a huge believer in attractants when I'm in the field. Each one of them have their time to be applied, and understanding that is so key. But you know, you can never underestimate the importance of that wind direction, trying to get it in your face where the deer are coming in from a different direction. But as we all know, deer are going to come in from where they want, so you know that's always going to be a big part of it. The final thing is spending that time preparing to understand where the deer are coming from, what they're feeding on, how they're feeding.
You're hunting different patterns than what you are later in the season, especially like during gun season. You know, if it gets more into the rut, you know, you're hunting trails, food, water. That you got to think more about that. You know, when you get to the rut, I mean, you could see a buck anywhere chasing a doe. But early season bow hunting, it's more about focusing on food, water, and bedding. I mean, I've learned a lot, whether it's filming seasoned hunters or first-time hunters, being able to watch what they do. You know, whether it's little movements that they make that a deer pops his head up and you're thinking, well, they notice that sound. Sometimes, you know, if somebody makes just like a quiet as they can deep cough, sometimes that don't alert deer, especially if you've got multiple deer out there, because deer make a lot of noise. When they kind of get grouped up together, they make a lot of different noises, and it seems like a deep muffled cough don't alert them as much as somebody moving in a chair. You learn a lot, and it's like anything else, whether you're running a camera or you're just hunting on your own. The more time you spend in the woods, the more you learn about hunting yourself.
Hunting with the camera, whether you're the cameraman or the hunter, it's a whole different challenge, because now you have two people that have to see the deer. You have to have two sight lines. You got to make sure you get everything you need to build the story, and it just adds a whole lot more of a challenge to the hunt, because you know, if it was just you by yourself, the deer walks out, you pull back and shoot it, and it's done. But when you're the cameraman or you've got a cameraman, you've got to let that deer come out. You're talking back and forth. Hey, do you in focus? You got what you need? There's just a lot more that goes into the hunt. You know, I've learned you can't mess around much. You just got to hunker down and stay on the same page, because if you don't, the hunt can be ruined like that.
I've been shooting outdoor TV shows for 28 years now. As we did more bow hunting, I kept messing up. I'd mess up as the camera guy. I'd move too much, and I thought, you know what, I better pick up a bow and learn how to be a hunter. Bow hunting is pretty difficult. I thought it would be pretty easy, right? There's a lot of technical stuff to it, a lot of muscle memory. You get your bow, you shoot, you learn how to do that. That's fine. That's one thing, shooting at a target. When it gets to sitting in the stand and being a good hunter, there's a lot more to learn. You know, bow hunting both in front of the camera and behind the camera, it's as nerve-wracking to me both ways. You want to make sure you get the shot as a camera guy. You want to make sure you do everything right as that bow hunter. And when both happen, it makes for a great show, it makes for a great time, and it makes for great stories.
When we return, we follow along with Yamaha's Scott Newby as he takes us on a bow hunting journey here in Kentucky.
You always hope for the buck of a lifetime. When it comes, will you be ready? 0.
For 30 years, Conquest Deer Farm has been producing superior genetics. This created the most demanded whitetail scent in the hunting industry. Over the past few years, we have been working on a synthetic line just like our proven whitetail line, and we succeeded. Just ask Cody Robbins.
Conquest Scents has made the very best scents to lure in bucks with success. Their synthetic line combines the best scent with an incredible focus on the overall health of our wildlife.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. Scott Newby of Yamaha has joined the Whitetail Diaries crew in Kentucky. Scott is new to bow hunting and has a few hunts under his belt from his time in Texas, but the wary velvet whitetail of Kentucky will test his mettle over the next few days.
Right now we're in pretty much central Kentucky. I used to live in Kentucky for a while, and I used to hunt the property very close to it out here, and so it's almost like a homecoming in a sense, but that was always rifle. So this time I'm coming back and I'm gonna take it on with the bow hunt. I'm gonna be hunting over a bean field, and from what it sounds like, they bed down there, and so ideally we have something coming out. Even the Salt River that's kind of wrapping around us too, it's nice and shallow, so probably crossing through there. So just gonna be able to get a good look out of things. We'll have a tree stand that's out there too, and my shots are probably gonna be from sitting, which means all tomorrow morning I'll definitely be doing a lot of practice from sitting down, because I haven't been doing that as much as I have been from standing. Knowing these deer, they're gonna be tricky. They're gonna be something that I've never experienced before on a bow hunt like this. Gonna head out now, jump in the RMAX 21000, go to our spot, see what this bean field's like, up in a ladder stand, and hope something big walks out. Downside is we do have some rain moving in, so not sure what that's gonna do. Chances are anywhere from like 15 to 40%, so could be iffy, but either way, I'm gonna go sit, see if we can knock something down. Made it to our spot. We got a little bit of a walk going in, but pretty much all the deer around here aren't used to moving at all, so we're just making sure that we keep a good distance and everything. Go ahead and put this on while I'm a ways away, so I'm not clanking around making too much noise. And one thing that Wade told me that I definitely need to make sure I take into consideration is when I get up in the tree stand, making sure that when I move around, especially in my key shooting lanes, nothing's gonna be clanking at all and making any noise, because the best time to adjust that is before something comes in and before something happens. So, just get all suited up for now, and then get up in that tree stand. This is opening weekend right now. We have pretty much all week. Gonna kind of see what the deer are moving, see what's around us. We may have to shuffle around a little bit, but as of now, I just want to see something, you know? I mean, just having that little bit of and a little bit of action going on, just kind of gets all your nervousness out of you, especially the first time. And hopefully I can get a few sits in just to calm my nerves, settle things down, and then if I get one, I'm excited just about the thought already, just because this is something I've been working on for a really long time. It's been a long time coming, so hopefully I can put all the pieces together, and this is the time to kind of bring that trophy home. For me, the first sit, I was just really kind of getting myself comfortable, getting acquainted with the layout and everything, and had this, for me, decent little 10-point that came out. It's like, oh man, okay. So I kind of started up and getting set and get ready, and then lo and behold, had this nice big buck that came out right in front and never gave a shot at all, which is good. You know, I felt like it got my jitters out from the beginning, and we tried to reassess, bring a game plan in, hoping to do the same thing the next day, but no, he never showed up after that.
It's here. The frost is on the field. It's time to put your camo on and head out to your favorite spot. He's moving more in the daylight, and your heart races as you hold perfectly still. Make sure your fall hunting season is the best one yet with the hunting gear you trust, only at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Shop in-store or online.
Sometimes the world can seem a cold place, so we gotta bring the warmth to it. Sometimes the world can seem a dark place, so we gotta become the light in it. Sometimes the world can seem a broken place, so we gotta strive to fix it. We prepare for the worst, but we must always, always expect the best.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton. We'll join back up with Scott at Salt River Outfitters in Kentucky as he continues his journey to go after his first whitetail buck as a bow hunter.
It's been really cool to watch Scott evolve as a hunter. He's very patient, very dedicated. He wants to do the right thing all the time. He's taken up bow hunting, about a year and a half ago. But this hunt here really, it's kind of culmination of all that practice. You know, he's been working all week out here. He's set at several great stands. Had an encounter with a buck honestly a buck of a lifetime, a giant deer with drop time, but didn't give him the right shot. He didn't rush it, didn't make a mistake. The deer just wanted to go eat beans somewhere else. And that happens, but now he's out here with a chance to go out and kill a big one.
We kind of pivoted a little bit when we got a little stale after a couple sits in the same bean field and everything, and tried to go to a new stand called the Honey Hole. There were so many more deer in that area, and that was a problem with the stand before, so we just weren't seeing any deer out there.
Set up and good to go right now. It's pretty hot right now, so probably be a little while before they do finally start showing up, but just kind of in a small little bean field here right now. And gonna wait it out for a little bit and see what comes our way. We know there's a lot of good bucks in the area, so chances are we'll definitely see something. It just depends whether or not we see a shooter.
So we were hoping that change of plans would kind of be a little more fruitful for us. And the first night that we went and sat out there, just a couple of smaller bucks, and then right when it got too dark to shoot, there were two decent sized bucks that came out. Couldn't really see what kind of rack they had or anything, but at least gave us hope that
for the very last hunt, we'd have a chance on being able to take something big. The way the weather was going in the morning, it rained all in the morning, really cooled things off. So again, we were hoping that that will be a little more positive going into this afternoon hunt. Just because things cooled down, we're hoping that it would come out earlier.
We also decided to go back to the honey hole. We were debating whether to go to the honey hole or back to that bean field I originally sat at. But then when the rain and stuff came through, like it was a lot of rain in the morning, probably about a 1/4 inch total. Just thinking they didn't like it before with the mud. So hoping it's gonna be the case. And there are a lot more sign of deer out here at least, so to be determined. Lo and behold, there was absolutely nothing that came out in that last hunt. And it got a little rough, and just sitting there racking my brain the whole time, like, should we have gone to the bean field like we started out with? Should we have stayed here? But based upon the situation, kind of taking the full look, full scope and analysis and everything, I feel like it was the right decision. And that's just one thing I learned hunting deer in velvet, is that you never know what they're gonna do. I mean, deer in general, you just never know what they're gonna do, but it seems like even when they're in velvet, they're just all the more unpredictable. I mean, that one buck that we saw that I kind of nicknamed Captain Hook, they just saw him the Tuesday before I got there. Otherwise, they never showed up in any of the trail cams or anything. And so you never know what could be coming in, or you never know where they're gonna be going to after that, So that's hunting, but I had a great time in camp and excited to come back, because I think what we're gonna try to do is come back here in a few weeks and go for them on muzzleloader. Granted, it'd be hard antler, but also take it as a second chance.
Well, Scott didn't have to wait until muzzleloader season. Schedules aligned and Scott headed back to Salt River Outfitters just 3 weeks later. That's all coming up after the break.
The fastest, most comfortable compact crossbows ever. 26.5 inches long, 440 feet per second. The Havoc RS440 and Havoc RS440 from 10 Point. Defining crossbow precision for over 25 years.
Meet Spintech's sturdiest stand and fill feeder, built on skids to allow for easy transportation. This feeder is perfect for the hunter looking for a convenient stand and fill feeder that has a welded cage system to protect it from hogs, cattle, and other animals. It's also equipped with Spintech's patented spinner unit that locks and seals in corn. Stand and fill up to 700 pounds of corn with ease. Learn more at spintechspreaders.com.
Welcome back to the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries with Wade Middleton.
Really excited to say we're back in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. I get a little bit of hopefully redemption coming out to a whitetail bow hunt as well. It is a wonderful thing to be able to come back. I mean, I thought that this was literally, after leaving velvet season when, we didn't have a deer that came out at all that presented itself. I just thought it was gonna be next year, didn't think we'd have a chance, but I was even keeping that thought in the back of my mind, maybe we'll get that call, maybe I can come back out, and just the fact that Wade did call, he said that we're gonna be able to put this together and make it happen, and now the great thing is the deer are starting to pattern themselves more, so we at least know where we can go. We know to a certain extent how they're gonna react and what's gonna be going on, to where hopefully we do get a shot. So this evening, it sounds like we're gonna go to a stand that it overlooks a CRP field. We have, I think, some water behind us, and even there's like an oak lining of trees that go down a little road. From what it sounds like, we're gonna get some deer that come in from behind us, some deer that come in to the right of us. They may be hitting the corn, otherwise there's some acorns that drop down the ground that they'll probably be milling around and eating. So excited to be able to get out there and see what comes out in front of us.
So we also have just a corn pile that's right out in front, just the way they do things out here in Kentucky. And hopefully just kind of get settled on that. Hopefully I can be calm and quiet enough while they do it. And it's about 20 yards out. And even beyond that, it's about 30 yards. But hopefully they can stay within a 20 to 25 range, because that's where I'm the most comfortable at. I feel like the wind's in our favor, but it's also not really staying consistent. It seems to come from every direction where we're at right now. Hopefully they don't spot us and don't smell us.
Didn't have much that came out. We got settled, I'd say, even a little later than we wanted to, about 5:30. Had a couple of bucks that came in around 6:15. Hoping that was meaning, you know, there's gonna be more stuff coming after that, but even a doe came in too, and she blew at us and then just took off, and nothing. I mean, those 2 bucks just kind of milled around for a while and hung out for a little bit and ended up making a giant circle and then taking off on us, and then even almost till it was completely dark. Doe and a fawn came in after that, and yeah, I guess it sounds like there's a different pattern that they're normally coming in at, so wrapping things up for tonight. There's still big deer that are in there, so we're just gonna give the day here to settle, head back out tomorrow and give a shot around 2. I think we only have 2 more hunts left after this, so fingers crossed.
Unfortunately, it was more of the same for Scott on his next hunt. Smaller bucks and does came into the area, but the Kentucky Giants stayed true to their mythological nature. So Scott has just 1 hunt left and has moved to a new setup on a different farm in hopes he can get drawn on a big Kentucky buck.
So I'm gonna do a new stand this time. We got a big field to our backside, and then the Beach Fork River just kind of like loops around right straight out where we're at. Honestly, not sure we're gonna see much tonight. For one, everything's moving late, but it's also been a really hot day today. So if they're already moving late, I doubt they're gonna come early, but as Wade likes to say, sometimes the deer just wants to die. So hopefully we get one of those big guys that comes out. You know, I still have a little bit of hope left. I feel like it's bottom of the 9th. We're down a run, we got a man on second, and our best hitter's at the plate, so we're swinging for the fences. Fingers crossed we can make it happen, and yeah, I mean, I just would like to see something, but it's our last chance, so we're just gonna wait it out. So it's really encouraging to see those 2 does and 2 fawns come in. It was only about a little after 4:30. I thought we wouldn't see anything, but we're even getting a nice little breeze here and there. I mean, hopefully that's just a sign of more good things to come, but I thought we were gonna be skunked, so good stuff so far.
Had a lot of deer that came in early, which really surprised me because it was a hot day and I didn't think we'd see anything at all, to be honest, but we saw about 8 to 10 total, some that came in around 4:30 or so it was way earlier than I expected and kind of even got my hopes up. Even had a little 4-point that came out at one point, and he was milling around for a while, and it was crazy to see the difference in the deer because out here they were coming into the corn really slow and really hesitant, you know, so they were leery the whole time, but we didn't spook them at all. I mean, they, you know, they were milling around for the longest time, and it almost got to the point too where I was thinking, man, if a big buck comes in, I'm gonna kind of get worried because there's a lot of eyeballs that are on us right now, a lot of them looking around, especially when they're already kind of sketched out as it is. And yeah, just nothing came in, but it was good to see him, good to get out in nature, good to be up in the stand, and hopefully next year I'll get you Kentucky. You haven't won yet.
This episode was made possible by these partners. From sun up to sundown, day in and day out, we work hard. We play hard. And to keep us going during those long hours, we demand performance. Angle Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
Introducing the Exude line of long-distance illuminators, built to outperform typical illuminators with our multi-lens focus adjustable technology. project a perfectly sharp column of light visible at great distances, gaining a higher level of illumination precision. Exude technology uses pure white natural light, preventing animals from flaring when spotted. Perfect for predator hunting. We offer 3 different Exude models, the OD25, the OD40, and the OD50. Illuminate the night like never before with the Exude light.
It's in our nature to protect, defending our heritage, our way of life, and the ones we love. It's your right. Don't give it up. Protect it or lose it. Walkers.
Muddy took the box blind industry by storm with the Bull. Now, they've taken it to the next level with the Penthouse. Increased size, larger windows, insulated panels, and everything you've come to expect from an industry leader. Revolutionary designs for any weapon and any situation. Change the way you hunt with a box blind from Muddy Outdoors. Check out Muddy's full line of box blinds today at GoMuddy.com.
High-vis sights are forged to be the brightest and most durable sights, no matter where you are. In the home, on the range, during competition, or out in the field. See what you've been missing with High-vis.
I came back from Afghanistan with a traumatic brain injury. I couldn't talk. I still can't talk right. I didn't want to leave the house. Then my wife, God bless her, she got me off the couch and said, hey, enough's enough. You got to get back outdoors. The hunting gave me a whole new purpose, you know. It sped up my recovery big time. When I was deployed, I trusted Trijicon, and I still do today. Sergeant Rob Gustafson, U.S. Army retired.
Trijicon, brilliant aiming solutions.